November 2013. As millions of people rush to get Black Friday deals, one of the most deadly retail cyber attacks has begun, stealing over 50 million credit cards. And the point of entry? The air conditioners. Unbeknownst to Target, hackers had scouted out their cybersecurity systems and realized it wasn't worth the effort. A $1.6 million malware detection system and a 24/7 monitoring team in Bangalore, all PCI DSS certified. But while Target wasn't worth it, its air conditioner contractor was, Fazio Mechanical. The hackers began by crafting something known as a spear phishing email, a highly targeted cyber attack that appears to come from a trusted source with personalized details to deceive specific individuals. Unlike generic phishing, these emails use social engineering techniques and extensive research about the target to create convincing messages that exploit trust. Inside it contained a sophisticated banking malware variant called the Citadel Trojan, used to create backdoors with minimal noise. All the hackers needed to do was send it to a few employees and wait. And then, a notification. Connection established. There wasn't even any resistance. Fazio was using the free version of Malwarebytes with no real-time protection. The free version. Not even paid. Using this, the hackers were able to extract the employees' credentials and through a bit of searching found what they were looking for. The Target customer portal. Using Fazio's credentials, the hackers infiltrated Target's network. What they discovered was shocking for a Fortune 500 company: a flat network architecture. In this setup, all devices share the same network plane without clear internal boundaries or segmentation. Unlike a properly segmented network, Target's critical retail infrastructure and vendor systems existed on the same level, creating a vast, unsecured landscape. The hackers uploaded a file to Target's vendor web application that contained a web shell disguised as a legitimate file, giving them remote control of Target servers. A web shell is a malicious script that allows remote access and command execution on a web server. This particular web shell enabled the attackers to control Target's servers through a web browser, bypassing normal security measures. Using this, a pass-the-hash attack is initiated, a technique for cracking passwords that only ever touches the hash stored in Windows memory, never the password itself, which meant no authentication alerts were ever triggered. Within days, the hackers gained domain administrator privileges, essentially the highest level of access in a Windows network environment, the master key to Target's entire infrastructure. Navigating through their network, the hackers mapped their way through to the database servers containing customer information and IP addresses. They find 70 million customer records, but no credit card numbers. It was a failure. But wait, maybe it wasn't. Maybe they could go straight to Target's point-of-sale systems instead. The hackers decided to deploy a highly customized malware developed by a 17-year-old Sergei Terepsov called Dump Memory Grabber by Re4, or Black POS, to Target's POS environment, which they bought for around $2,000. This specialized malware was custom-built for Target's window-based POS systems. It employed RAM scraping, a cyber attack technique that targets a computer's random access memory to extract sensitive data during processing. RAM scraping works by infiltrating the system's memory and capturing credit card information during the milliseconds when it exists in unencrypted form between the card swipe and encryption. The malware registered itself as a service called POS WDS and hooked into the Windows API. Using regex patterns, it identified and extracted Track 1 and Track 2 payment card data, including card numbers, expiration dates, and CVV codes, directly from memory before encryption could occur, bypassing traditional security measures that protect data at rest or in transit. And if you've ever wanted an all-in-one creativity tool to play around with, today's sponsor, 3D AI Studio, can help. 3D AI Tool is an all-in-one creative asset making tool that lets you generate images from text and then convert those images and text into 3D objects, along with a texture generator, image upscaler, and a place to learn how to use all these tools and become your best creative self. There are multiple options for you to choose on how the object is generated, and even an entire free repository where other people upload their creations so you can use without ever paying. And if you thought that wasn't crazy enough, it even includes image to video, image to prompt, text to audio, and a bunch of other tools that help you even if you're not that interested in 3D generation. So if you want to learn how to be a creative mastermind, but don't know where to start, 3D AI Studio is the place to do it. To avoid detection, Black POS only operated during Target's business hours, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, and also started hijacking legitimate Windows operations, deleted their code, and injected its own into the hollow shell of the program, hollow shell processing, that fooled any passerby that looked into the system. Now that the bomb was in the building, the hackers needed a way to get all the data into their hands. Their exfiltration strategy, a method to secretly transfer stolen data out of Target's network. This was done for covertly moving data from a compromised system to attacker-controlled servers while evading detection by Target's security measures and network monitoring tools. The first thing they do is set up staging servers within Target's network to collect the stolen data before sending it out, reducing the chances of detection by minimizing direct external connections from compromised POS terminals and moving data via SMB, or Server Message Block, protocol. Then they'd launder the data through FTP, mixing it up with legitimate traffic to avoid detection as it was sent to servers placed in Russia, Miami, and Brazil. But just as the hack starts up, an alarm sounds. Everything stops. The FireEye system had just detected the malware and sent an automatic alert to their security team. The hackers prepare to abort, but nothing happens. A second alert triggers on December 2nd. Again, dead silence. The hackers couldn't believe their luck. Target's security team had missed all the warning signs. In fact, the security team never got the message. Target had disabled FireEye's auto malware deletion feature, a $1.6 million military-grade security system neutered by a single checkbox. The oversight emboldens the hackers, and by December 12th, they had over 40 million customers' credit card information. But it didn't last forever. The Department of Justice notified Target of suspicious activity around its network, and Target began an investigation. In a race against time, the hackers initiated their contingency plan, a series of time bombs containing fragments of malware to activate at specific intervals over 24 hours that mimicked normal data patterns, making them nearly impossible to distinguish from routine traffic. It didn't stop even as Target began purging their systems on December 15th. The program simply ran to uninfected programs and pivoted itself to new exfiltration routes if detected. A huge game of whack-a-mole began that Target desperately tried to keep up with. But after just a few days, Target admits defeat. Journalist Brian Krebs breaks the story, sending shockwaves through the cybersecurity world. The hackers had absconded away with all the credit card information, and there was no way to get it back. The data would go on to the dark web marketplaces, Rescator, McDumples, Lampedusa Republic, where prices ranged from $20 to $100 per card, depending on the card type and credit limit. High-value cards, those with high limits or linked to business accounts, fetched premium prices. The irony wasn't lost on anyone. Target had invested millions in protecting themselves, but failed every basic protective measure they took, ignoring alerts, poor network segmentation, and disabling features for no apparent reason. The hack might have started in the air conditioners, but Target may as well have just hacked themselves. But not all hackers want money. In fact, some of them just want to use their favorite programs for free.